brand new season of Wildcat basketball will tip off Friday night under the new direction of head coach Brian Becker, class of 1977. Will tip off Friday night against the Shaw Cardinals in East Cleveland. And Coach Becker, obviously, is glad to be back, taking the hiatus since 2001. You come in with a record at St. Ignatius of 284 and 142, only 16 wins away from number 300. But Coach, glad to be back. And how is the team looking this year?
The team looks great. I mean, certainly Sean O'Toole did a great job, molding these guys early on. I'm a different set of eyes, a different set of ideas. We've got some big guys. We've got some kids that are working really hard. I think we've got a great balance of juniors and seniors. So I think we'll be good to go.
Yeah, speaking of that balance between juniors and seniors, a lot of fresh faces from the junior varsity roster. How's the camaraderie looking on the court between them?
It's been great. The kids played a lot of games this summer. We went to a couple of team camps this summer. We went to one at Cleveland State and went to one up at Akron. We've been down pretty much every Saturday morning to play against other alumni. So they've been bonding pretty well. Austin is a pretty gregarious guy. Q, we call him the governor. He's a little quiet, but he rules things in the roost down there in the box. Matt Davitt, Matt Davitt is Matt Davitt. Matt Davitt brings his lunch pail every day. Certainly, Spirit Goodfellow and Devin Jackson bring a lot of spirit to the team, and they play really hard together. It's a good group of juniors that are pushing our seniors, and that's what's expected.
One of the best group of guys we've had at St. Ignatius in a long time. And you mentioned about the height that we had this year. 6'8", Austin Arian is the tallest guy that we'll have this year, along with 6'7", Sharif Irish, who's battling back from an injury, and 6'6", Matt Davitt, just to name a few. So talk about the height, and that can be our advantage this year. How do you put that into the scheme?
Well, certainly, there's an old saying that you can't coach height. It's great to have inherited height. Sharif's been working real hard with his therapist right now and rehabbing. Hopefully he'll be back mid-December, maybe late December once he gets good to go. Guys are mobile. Austin's a very mobile kid. He can go inside, he can go outside. Matt's a decent shooter, three-ball shooter, but primarily he's an inside guy. He's a little bit stronger. Mike Hollis is a tall kid. He's 6'6". He's got good wingspan. Timmy Kiefer's 6'4". He's got good wingspan. Jimmy Berger plays like he's 6'4", 6'5". He's got long reaching arms. You can't leave Devin Stolen out of the equation. I mean, Devin, is probably our most experienced player. He's got great hops. He's got a good, quick second jump, which is really important in basketball. To be able to get the tip on a ball and then spring back up and get a second tip on it. You get a lot of second shot opportunities that way.
And with all those height that Brendan mentioned, is there an option really with stretching somebody like Yerian who can shoot from the outside, maybe playing him a little bit at the three against teams that have a lot of height as well?
Well, certainly. We have many different packages coming in. I think we have a big package where we can run some zone trap. I'm not a sit back in a zone type of guy. If we're going to play some zone, it's going to be an active zone. But when you get Yerian, Davitt, Hollis, Stover, Berger, Kiefer, a bunch of combinations. There's some longer guys that you can have out there. Austin can play outside. Timmy Kiefer's been lighting it up. Ryan Berger is a 6'4" kid. Every shot he shoots looks like it's going to splash. Honestly, God, he's been really lighting it up. He gets his feet set, but he also is good around the basket. He's a stronger 6'4" kid that really knows how to play the game. So there's a lot of different combinations that we'll be able to go to this year, both the zone and man-to-man.
This team is coming off a season in which they made it to the district final last year, but ended up falling to the undefeated Lorraine Titans. Looking ahead to this year, a tight and cramped schedule, a lot of good teams on the schedule. You look at Louisville, who's new to the schedule this year for the Wildcats, will play them at Mount Union. And then we have the New Year's Eve game against St. Vincent St. Mary, always a talented team down there under the direction of Drew Joyce. Then Glen Oak, Wayne, who made it to the state tournament last year, along with Cleveland Central Catholic. Northland, always a good team. Cleveland Heights as well, Garfield Heights, who made it to the state tournament last year as well, and then the 2 games against St. Edward, obviously. So if you look at the schedule, Coach, I know you didn't make it up really, but it's a schedule that, game after game, the season's a gauntlet, and how do you look at get the team prepared for that?
Well, certainly, life's a challenge, and you never want to back away from challenges. To me, the way I look at the schedule is that I'd like to play the best weekend in, week out. Basketball's different than football. We're getting in the tournament. I know we're going to get in the tournament. We're going to be ready to play tournament basketball when the tournament time comes. I'm sure we'll have some adversity as the year goes on. If you look at our schedule, just what you mentioned, you throw in Canton McKinley, who merged with Timken, is going to be again, the top 5 teams in the state. Different games, different challenges. And that's always been my philosophy when I coached before. I wanted to see a variety of different types of teams: a slow down team, a quick, strong team, a big team, a methodical team, a team that's going to run up and down. If you can learn to adjust and make good adjustments against good teams, when you get in a tournament, you're dangerous. And let's face it, it's about the tournament. Regular season is regular season. The way I look at it, we got 7 or 8 games to figure out what kind of team we are. Then another 7 or 8 games to tweak the team we are with the personnel. And then we get ready for the tournament. By the time we get to the tournament, I think we'll be good to go.
With that schedule, preseason rankings for Cleveland.com has 8 of the Wildcats opponents in the top 25, and a lot of those games are on the road. How are you guys going to manage that atmosphere the fans are going to bring and all the momentum surrounding it?
Well, I started early with the day 1 of practice, and here's my comment very, very simply that I made to the kids. In order to compete for a state championship, you need to win games on somebody else's floor. So we're going to prepare that way. We're not going to look at and whine about, well, we only have so many home games. We're going to embrace the fact that we've got good opponents on the road. We're going to go out and challenge those opponents on the road. And honestly, I think there's something to be said about going into somebody else's house and beating them in their house and walking away happy.
There you go. And you mentioned the 6 home games. 6 home games you guys can get to this year. That's it. So we'll most likely be adding a game against Glenville as well. So make sure you get down to Ohio City. If you can't, then you'll be traveling a lot, because we're heading down to Akron, Columbus, even out to Youngstown to face Cardinal Mooney. So a lot of basketball to be played, and we are excited to bring you all the action this year on the St. Broadcasting Network. Matt McKenzie will be doing the play-by-play. I'll be filling in with color along with Matt Harsar and Lewis Williams. And then we'll have a slew of guys on the junior varsity action. And it all tips off, Coach, Friday night at Shaw High School in East Cleveland. We face off with the Cardinals. Cleveland Home Title pregame show for JV tipping off at 6. Brad Anderson and Tyler Applegate will be on the call for that one. And then Matt McKenzie and myself will be on the air for the varsity action as we set the 2015-2016 campaign Friday night against Shaw. So from Matt McKenzie, head coach Brian Becker, I'm Brendan Deviney, and we have an exciting season for you guys. God bless.